Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Washington Redskins Franchise here on Madden 20. We are through the offseason, just going to go through a little bit of a recap here. Grayson Flaherty, undrafted rookie free agent quarterback, is coming onto the squad. He's going to get a chance to maybe earn the backup spot or at least maybe make the roster. If not, he'll be a practice squad member. And Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins will be our quarterbacks. Here we have a full running back room. Darius Geis, Corey Grant, Samaje Perine, and Bryce Love all vying to try to be the starting running back this season. They've all had injuries. They have all had good moments in this franchise, and we'll see who can really battle it out in preseason. We got a two-man battle for fullback. And we'll see what happens there between a rookie and Elijah Wellman. There's the rookie right there, Delbert Lynn, drafted in like the 6th round, I believe we took him in. He's 6'3", 21 years old. He's got room to grow. The receiver room is full, very full. We have Paul Richardson Jr. He's a clear-cut number 1, but we've got a lot of guys who could be the number 2 receiver as well as the number 3 receiver. Any of these guys could be either of those two things. As we did sign Damian Ratley back onto the squad in the offseason, we went ahead and drafted a couple of receivers, one being Joseph Vick, the 5'10", 21-year-old out of Arkansas. He's speedy. He can make some catches in the open field. He has a little bit of trouble with route running. We also brought in Jameson Red out of Idaho, the Idaho Vandal. 91 speed. He's got some acceleration. He's not great with regular catching in the open field, but he makes some great catches from time to time, spec catch, and in traffic. Tight end room, pretty much the same as it always was. At left tackle, we got a new rookie, and Trent Williams in his contract year. Here's Steve Tepper, who was brought in at left tackle. He might start at right tackle. We'll see what ends up happening with him out of South Carolina. One of our first round draft picks used on him. At left guard, of course, we have Wes Martin, who played last year. Chase Rouillet is still here at center. We also drafted a man there. Scherf and Teller at right guard, but we also have a rookie there, 6'6", 337-pound Von Clemens, also out of South Carolina. Tepper's teammate for the last few years is going to be here as well. Morgan Moses, we brought in his competition. We have Kareem Leak also at right tackle. Hopefully he does not let the defense leak as much as Morgan Moses did, giving up 29 sacks last year. Matthew Ioannidis still here. We signed Emmanuel Ogbah in the offseason to try and give him a better backup than Jordan Brailford. We'll see if Brailford can keep his roster spot. Jonathan Allen in a contract year. We bring in Robert Quinn, and we bring in undrafted rookie free agent out of Texas A&M, Ed Vincent. So he is going to have a chance as well. We'll see what happens. We re-signed Taco Charlton for a 4-year deal. We'll see if he makes the squad over Robert Quinn or what ends up happening there. At defensive tackle, Deron Payne probably not losing that starting job. And we have a couple other guys vying for the backup spot. At left outside linebacker, all guys in contract years. Who knows what's going to happen here? Ryan Kerrigan should be the starter, but we bring in Ross Mackey, an undrafted rookie free agent out of ECU. So he has a couple skills that are not that great, but a guy that can be developed. Look at all those things that he has in his trait box. Now, at middle linebacker, Reuben Foster rejoining the team after being out all last season. Sean Dion Hamilton was our starter last year. Cole Holcomb backed him up. And now we bring in another man for some competition, Kevin Bach, the undrafted rookie free agent, who has some skills, some speed, really. He'll have to learn how to play the position. Right outside linebacker, we got Montez Sweat. I don't see his spot being vacated. Dwayne Smoot was re-signed for a nice backup. The corner room is full. We get rid of Fabian Moreau. We bring in a big-time rookie, spotlighted for us by Craniac Gaming. Go check him out. Here's Keon Wild, our very first-round pick in this series out of Syracuse. Speedy, very good zone coverage, and one of the smarter corners you will find. So anxious to see what he can do. Deron Jackson was brought in as an undrafted rookie free agent. Not a lot of speed with him, but he's got some man coverage. The rest he'll have to learn along the way. Free safety is a wide open job. Monte Nicholson in a contract year. And, of course, we've got Landon Collins. His backup was Zedrick Woods last year, but Obi Melifonwu comes in to possibly take that job away. And we have an undrafted rookie free agent in Dunn there. Kicker, we bring in some competition for Dustin Hopkins, and that is Ronnie Landry, the rookie out of SMU with the 91 kick power. So he'll have a chance to kick his way into the job. It'll be hard taking on the best kicker of the NFC last year. And Tress Way is still the punter. New year, and once again, time for our weekly radio show. Here we got some preseason questions. Let's get into it. First caller, you are up.
Hey, my name's Ryan. I just had a question about your off-season, plan, I guess. Obviously, during the draft, you guys took a lot of offensive linemen. Where do you see that position group now? Do you think it's deeper than it was before? What's your plan with Tepper? Are you going to move him to right tackle and then back to left tackle after Trent Williams leaves? Or are you going to just keep him at left tackle? What's the plan?
If I'm being honest, I don't know. I think the Redskins are going to be using this season as more of an evaluation on all of these young linemen. They could still clearly, obviously, bring Trent Williams back if they so chose. But I think you'll see Tepper probably win this right tackle job. We'll see, but he's clearly the most talented lineman out there for the job. After, you take a look at the rest of the guys in the group, I don't see any of the other rookies really stepping up for it. It's going to be exciting to watch. I'm definitely excited to see all these young guys in the position group, but it's something we got to see play out.
With Dwayne Haskins going into year 2, what do you expect to see in terms of growth out of his game? What are some areas that you think he needs to improve on, and what do you think are some areas he has improved on since being a rookie?
Well, I think the main thing is he needs to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker. I think he took some unnecessary sacks last season that he probably could have avoided by just throwing the check down, but he kept looking deep a lot. And, you kind of like that from your quarterback, looking for a big play, not being afraid to take that shot downfield, but he's got to know the difference between a play where he's going to be able to look downfield and a play where he should just take that check down. And then the other thing is, obviously, interceptions. You want to see those come down quite a bit. He had 16, which isn't, horrible, but it's not really great, to be honest with you. So those two areas you want to see him improve upon, and I think he's getting a little bit better at dealing with pressure. I think he showed that last year, that he can stand tough in the pocket, make some throws under pressure, and you want to see that really honestly continue. All right, now it is time to go to Nick and his video question. What is up, Nick? What do you got for us?
Wondering what guys are currently going to get cut after week 1. A lot of players put in some pretty bad performances, and I also want to know if there's any movement on the running back battle, as everyone did see that Bryce Love and Darius Geis were seen as the backups. Has anything changed with that?
Well, for your running back question, we are definitely going to find out more today as who is going to emerge for that job and what is going to happen. I would sit tight and really take a peek at this episode because the running back situation becomes more and more clear. Obviously, a lot of people rooting for Darius Geis to take that step. We'll see if that is what exactly he can do. And Samaje Perine, Bryce Love, two very young running backs. I think any of those guys starting would be great. Corey Grant, he was brought in. Hopefully he's just the backup, to be honest, the change of pace, lightning pace guy. You don't really want to see him be the starter because he's not really probably the long-term solution at 27 years old. So, that is going to be that. We do have some cuts to make, but none after week 1 of the preseason. Thankfully, this game doesn't make you do that, because it would be rough. They should, because that would be realistic, but we got some guys here with some upgrades, and we will jump into the highlights shortly after. You can see we've got a lot of low overall players we're giving some opportunity to this preseason, and I'm very excited to see how they do. These linebackers here, Kevin Bach, it's going to be really fun to see them go. Let's see it. Into the highlights we go, and second game of the preseason after a loss against the Steelers. Look at Corey Grant with a nice run there. Here's a play fake for Haskins. He is looking. He's got time on 3rd and 6, and he's going to throw that one over to Terry McLaurin for the touchdown. Redskins striking and taking a lead over the Lions early on. Here is Dustin Hopkins looking to do a better job than he did against the Steelers, where he missed a field goal he probably should have made. But here is a 59-yarder that he has drilled, and that's 2 good field goals for him in the first half of this game. Lions will turn around, get a field goal here in the third quarter, and that will tie this ball game and make it a very, very tight one as we continue on. This one is the rookie Landry, and he will drill that one to give the Redskins the lead back. Now, later on, it's 23-20 and a huge sack and fumble recovery, and that's going to go to Detroit. The big man going to take this one into Redskin territory. Bryce Love giving chase. He will not get there. It is a Lions touchdown for Okwara, who is going to give the Lions the lead, 27-23. The little man Flanagan, people want to see him do well, but that's not really going to do it, as the Lions able to intercept his pass. That is Hewitt, and that would end that one. After the game, Trent Williams is going to coach Tepper over here, as he's doing a nice job mentoring him, and he's going to get Tepper's awareness up 3. We go into the game against the Tennessee Titans, and that's Mariota striking with a touchdown pass. Titans are going to go up 7-0. Now the Redskins with the ball, and the pass to Elijah Wellman for the touchdown. Fullback getting it done for Washington, and that's going to tie this ball game. Here's Hopkins trying to make sure he wins this job, and that's a nice field goal for him here in the first. Now Haskins looking on a 3rd and 10. He's got a man, and that's a Terry McLaurin catch. Beautiful inside the 15 to the 11. That's going to set Washington up here from the 11-yard line. Haskins rolling out, gets Jordan Reed. Nice being able to concentrate and stay in bounds. Jordan Reed with a big touchdown there. It's going to be 17-7. Later on, it's 20-17, and here we go. It's Haskins still playing. Of course, this is the 3rd preseason game where most of the starters play for a long time. Now in the 4th quarter, he's out of the game, and it's Alex Smith, and he's going to hand it off to Corey Grant with a beautiful little stutter step, and that's going to get the Redskins a touchdown. It's going to be 30-27, but the Titans are going to have a chance to win it, and the backup quarterback with the scamper into the end zone, and that is going to give the Titans the lead late. Redskins still have a chance, though. Alex Smith still in the game. Flanagan saw no action. That would get intercepted by what looks like to be Adoree Jackson, and there is a flag on the play. They would call pass interference on Tennessee, more specifically against Joshua Kalu. So that gives the Redskins a chance here with no time on the clock, throwing end zone, and that's knocked away. So the Redskins will lose the game there. Couple upgrades here. Reuben Foster, Jeremy Sprinkle, Jerron Christian, Cam Sims, Deron Jackson, and Kevin Bach all receives upgrades in that game. And the final preseason game where most of the backups play the whole time, we did not play Dwayne Haskins in this game. We did not play some other starters like Josh Norman or Ryan Kerrigan or pretty much anybody we really didn't want to get hurt. Jonathan Allen, Matthew Ioannidis, they didn't play in this, as Joshua Dobbs gets a touchdown here early. Now 10-7, and Flanagan is going to throw another interception this preseason. Safe to say he's probably not taking anybody's job in this preseason. And that's going to be a touchdown run for Henderson the third, as the Rams are just blowing this one out. That one's going to be a field goal kick, and that is good by Landry, making it a 20-10. So that's nice, but the Rams would strike again with another touchdown, and that would be it. Rams kill it in this one. Keon Wild gets himself an upgrade, which is always great to see. Ross Mackey is going to get an upgrade as well. Was kind of hoping he pushed into the 60s, but there, as you can see, the final results. The Steelers game was played on stream, so if you did miss that, you can watch that stream archived on my channel, as well as if you want to watch how the full offseason went down. But our roster is now set, and you can see here the results of the preseason. Haskins played relatively well, 65% completion, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Even Alex Smith played decent, 58%, a touchdown and no interceptions, and Grayson Flaherty was not the Cinderella story we were hoping. Darius Geis played extremely well, 9 carries for 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, probably has won himself the starting job here. Corey Grant, 15 attempts for 98 yards and a touchdown. Very good average for him as well. Bryce Love, the same, 9 carries for 85. So we tried to spread out the carries. We gave P. Ryan the most carries because he was the best last season, but he was the worst in preseason as far as average is concerned. So that is a concern for our team going forward. Who do we start? Who do we play? Paul Richardson, of course, the best receiver in preseason. Damian Ratley really came on strong, 9 catches for 130. McLaurin had 9 catches for 110 and a touchdown. Trey Quinn, 7 for 108. Kelvin Harmon, 6 for 94 and a score. Bryce Love, one of the best out of the backfield. He continues to do it. 74 yards of receiving for him. Jameson Red and Joseph Vick, the 2 guys we're looking at here. Red had 4 catches for 39. Vick had 6 for 28, so relatively close those 2 guys were. It's a tough choice of who to go with there. So, looking at the receivers, looks like a good group of guys. Moving on to the offensive line, Kareem Leak doesn't look like he's taking anyone's job away, nor does Wyatt Teller or Stuart Green. They both gave up multiple sacks on the preseason. Morgan Moses ironically gave up none, but he did only have 31 downs that he played. Von Clemens looking like a beast. No sacks given up in 98 downs. So that's pretty good. That's more downs than Trent Williams played. Of course, we weren't really trying to play Trent Williams in the preseason. We were trying to see what the young guys could do. So, moving forth, we are looking at defense, and Landon Collins and Sean Dion Hamilton played extremely well. Keon Wild played really well with a lot of tackles. Greg Stroman made a lot of tackles as well. Montez Sweat looks like he had a very nice preseason. And as we look at sacks, Robert Quinn really came on strong. He had 4 sacks this preseason. 2.5 for Ryan Kerrigan, 2 for Agba, 1.5 for Jonathan Allen. It's looking like the defensive ends that we have could really eat this year, and that's something we really look forward to and want to see. Poona Ford with a nice half a sack for himself as well. Only 2 interceptions, and it was Sean Dion Hamilton and Quentin Dunbar. So they're the only 2 guys to make picks. Deflections, Keon Wild way up there in deflections. Stroman tried to put himself ahead of the game in this preseason. And forced fumbles, Landon Collins had 1. And we hope to see more than that, considering he forced 13 last season. Obi Melifonwu had a recovery for a touchdown. Dustin Hopkins redeemed himself after game 1 of the preseason, going 5 of 6 with a long of 59, so it doesn't look like we are going to go with the rookie. Although the rookie had a perfect kicking preseason, he made none over 50, so it's hard to kind of trust him there, and it's hard to take out Dustin Hopkins when he was best kicker of the NFC last year. Tressway punted very well. Tremont Smith ran for a 25.6 clip on kickoff return. And as far as punt return, he outdid Joseph Vick with just 2 returns. So he will remain the return man. Trades, yes, we traded away Sims, the receiver, for a 4 and 2 7s. And that's a pretty good trade for us. We also traded away Ryan Anderson and a 7th for a second-round pick of 2021, so that we're excited for. We traded away Danny Johnson and Adonis Alexander for a 5th-rounder next year to the Browns. So we'll see the benefits of that next year. Samaje Perine, we like what you did for us, buddy, but he will be an Eagle this year for a 2nd-round draft pick. So we make a big trade there. Trey Quinn, we had to thin out the receiver room, and Trey Quinn goes to the Packers for a next year 1. I think that's great value for him. Taco Charlton, along with a 4th and a 7th this year. We're going to trade that for a rookie free safety in Poole. And I like that trade a lot. Monte Nicholson then becomes expendable. We're going to trade him with a next year 6 to get Riley Reif, who we didn't really want, a 4 and a 5. Then we take Riley Reif, who had a huge contract, along with Dwayne Smoot and a 2nd-round pick. And we get Avery Williamson and Darryl Roberts. We didn't really want Darryl Roberts, so we're going to take him with a 7th-round pick and get a 3rd from the Giants. So somebody can do the ipso facto there, but I think we got really good value from what we did. Elijah Wellman becomes a casualty. We're going to go with a rookie fullback, and we're going to trade him for a 4th-rounder. Now, Reuben Foster broke team rules when he got into a fight with Bach in the locker room, breaking his nose. So we traded him away and got Dallas Goedert straight up. I think that's awesome. Tim Settle and Greg Stroman with a 4th, going to go to the Chiefs for a 1st-rounder. And then we're going to trade Zedrick Woods and Matt Flanagan, or I don't even know if that's the right name, but we get a 7th-rounder next year from the Dolphins. So a lot of moves were made. If you have to go back and check them out again, please do. But a lot of moves. Let's go over the depth chart of the final 53-man roster. So there we are. Quarterback is as you would think it is. Running back, we're going to go with Darius Geis. He won the job. We got Delbert Lynn at fullback. At receiver, this is what we're going to do here. We've got Paul Richardson. We are going to make sure McLaurin's the number 2. Damian Ratley will be the 3. Kelvin Harmon the 4. And then Jameson Red over Joseph Vick. Red barely winning that job there for the 5th receiver spot. Tight end is going to remain as is. It's going to be Reed and Goddard. You're looking at the offensive line and what we are doing with it. Obviously, we had some Maddenisms here as they wanted to put guys at a position where I don't really want them to be, so we had to go back and fix that. Wyatt Teller, for some reason, starting. That is nothing like what we want to have, so we're going to put Brandon Scherf in his starting job at right guard, and we're going to go over to left guard, and your new starting left guard for the Hogs, the Washington Redskins, is going to be Von Clemens. So we're going to have Von Clemens of South Carolina starting at left guard. Trent Williams obviously at tackle. Rouillet obviously at center. Tepper will start at right tackle now. Morgan Moses will back him up. So I quite like the setup there on the offensive line. And if somebody starts playing like crap, we can always move that around. Ioannidis and Agba going to play at the left end position. Obviously, and at right end, we've got Jonathan Allen and Robert Quinn, so that's huge. We need to do that. Deron Payne, clearly the starting defensive tackle. Poona Ford does not lose his backup job. Left outside linebacker will be Ryan Kerrigan. Mackey going to get a chance to be the backup here after the trade of Ryan Anderson. So Mackey, hopefully, if he does see the field, he plays well in those plays, gets himself a lot of XP, and starts developing. At middle linebacker, our new one, Avery Williamson, going to lead. Sean Dion Hamilton will also play, obviously, as we mostly run a 3-4. Right outside linebacker, obviously, Montez Sweat will be there. For corner, what we're going to do, Josh Norman will be the number 1 corner yet again, and Keon Wild is going to take the number 2 slot. Quentin Dunbar will be 3. Levi Wallace will be 4. Vaughn Poole, our rookie free safety, we're going to start him out there. Landon Collins will obviously be our strong safety. Not much really to say about that. Dustin Hopkins will kick, Tressway will punt, and Tremont Smith will not lose his kickoff returning duties. So, there you have it, our practice squad. Flaherty still with us, Green still with us, Vincent, Jackson, Cannon, Landry, they're all still here. They're just put on the practice squad, not on the 53-man roster. We're going to take on the Falcons in Atlanta. What do you think is going to happen in that game? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to drop a like as well as subscribe if you're new. Plenty more content coming your way all day, every day here on Franchise Gaming. See y'all.
You're a pretty little star boy. Look what you've